Hello, video request. Do you think libertarians such as Ron Paul have hijacked the word freedom to mean lack of government? If you're a poor person living in a libertarian society, then isn't your freedom determined by how much wealth you have? A poor person in Ron Paul's version of America would not have the freedom to attend college because government wouldn't provide financial aid. They would also not be able to afford same level of health care as a rich person. Isn't freedom subjective to the individual and their needs and can't be defined as libertarian capitalist society? Also, how much influence do you feel the Koch brothers have in promulgating libertarian ideology and their interests in line with the majority of American working class? Is the libertarian movement really just about removing environmental regulation and cutting taxes for the benefit of the wealthy? Hello. So, what do I think about libertarians, and is it really freedom? I don't really, I haven't done a lot of my research on exactly what libertarians say, but there's a lot of good stuff about libertarianism, and but also we do need to have a communist, socialist government. So. The part of the libertarianists that I agree with is relaxing government control and giving more power to the states, letting them, having the states make their laws about New Hampshire, with the open carry and guns, and Colorado and Washington legalizing marijuana, but I think we should also, have, like as far as education, we should, I'm really high right now, so that's why I'm kind of slow. As far as laws, what I would agree with libertarians is, or seems to me to be a libertarian ideology, is to get rid of the regulations. So if you want to be a teacher, you don't have to have a degree, and the school can decide what they pay, and having more local control over education. Less hoops to jump through, less, red tape from the government. You don't have to, so for example, we shouldn't have to have a university degree to get into graduate school, You just have to pass a test, and that's all. You don't have to have the degree to do anything, get a job or anything. So school would just be for people's own desire to better themselves, to be able to pass the test and be competent. But as far as funding, I think we should have public schools for everybody, all the way until, like K through 12. Or maybe, traditionally education has been to 22, so maybe just have, instead of having universities, fade that into just schools that are funded until grade 16, and everybody can go for free to school, and then they provide all of the learning materials for students, microscopes, telescopes, just the state-of-the-art technology, and all of the the forums, like the mock trials for the people who still want to take law classes, and cadavers for the doctors and all that kind of stuff. And you could take whatever class you want. I think all of that should be definitely state funded. And everybody should have not health insurance. Just going along with your, coming with your citizenship, just like most of the other developed nations. I think Obamacare is a good start for all of that. A lot of the people like to say, oh, like capitalists or libertarians, I don't know. But people like to go, oh, but no, don't give this basic needs stuff to the people who don't work because it just makes them lazy and they're not worth it, but this is basic needs stuff. Even they should even have, food banks and stuff. If you want to get ahead, you can make money and get ahead and, have a better quality of life and all that kind of stuff. But basic needs should be provided for everybody. I think the only reason you'd be against that is people think that, people take advantage of it because they're by nature really lazy. But I don't think people by nature are lazy. People by nature strive. And just if you take care of them and you get the worry and the stress out, then people will strive. But if you have all of that, with no social safety net, then it just causes stress and crime and all that, So, do you think they have hijacked the word freedom? Well, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I think when I hear Ron Paul talk about weed and stuff and wants to legalize it, he believes in freedom. If you want to talk about if you're going to make the government fund, school and medical care and stuff, that's economic. That's not whether it's free, you're free or not. So no, I don't think they have. If you're a poor person living in a libertarian society, this is your freedom determined by how much wealth you have. No. Freedom is the ability to go to another country. So yeah, freedom is determined by how much wealth you have, but I mean, whether it's a libertarian society or not. Real freedom is whether or not you can speak or, if we have, does a libertarian society, do I think it's bad for wealth discrepancy? Well, I mean, I don't think anybody wants to have a high wealth discrepancy, so the good people don't want to have high wealth discrepancy, so I don't think it has anything to do with libertarianism or not. I don't think Ron Paul has some nefarious plan to make the rich even richer. I think Ron Paul's a good guy, I think he wants to help make a level playing field for everybody. If he doesn't believe in communism or socialism, then ask him to explain how poor people would pay for all of their basic needs, and I guess he would say, well, we have a fair society you can go out and get, but yeah. If he doesn't believe in that stuff, I would say, yeah, you should provide that. So I disagree with Ron Paul and those libertarians. Okay. Okay, they'd not be able to afford to save noble health care as a rich person. I think poor people should be able to have the same level of health care as rich people. That's why I think we should have really good nationalized health care. But like labeling, like libertarians are against health care. Libertarians are not socialist. I think it's better just to talk about, I guess you're talking about the specific person, Ron Paul. So yeah, when he needs to explain that more himself. So yeah, I don't agree with him with as much as I know about what he thinks about that. So anyways, how much influence do you feel the Koch brothers have in promulgating libertarian ideology? I think they have a lot of influence. And are their interests in line with the majority of America's working class? I don't think that their interests are in line with Americans' working class. Koch brothers are the guys who donate to, the presidential, with the candidates, in order for them to make their investments up and get themselves even richer. I think it's the Koch brothers who have like the LA Times or something newspaper, which is just a propaganda newspaper for all of their, things that are detrimental to society. I think they're connected to stuff that takes our freedom away. I don't know that much about the Koch brothers, but at least not when I'm high. But yeah, they fund stuff that doesn't do any good. So no, I don't think they. I think they just care about money. I should ask them for money for my timeline. In the libertarian movement, really just about removing environmental regulation, cutting taxes to benefit the wealthy. Yeah, dude, I think people who care about the wealthy and just want to make the rich richer infiltrate everything. You know, they see, oh, libertarian, and they try to go, oh yeah. Well, they're always trying to get out. It's like a game to them, getting themselves richer. And yeah, I don't think this libertarianism. I don't think it's the next. I don't think it's the answer. Like in the next, I voted for Gary Johnson in the last presidential election because I vote for individuals, and I think individuals from the Libertarian are better because they're more, freedom, less regulation, and I don't think they necessarily are more, about not funding, programs for needy people, But in the future, next, presidential cycle, I would just look at individual candidate, and am I going to vote for a Libertarian or Gary Johnson as a Libertarian or Jesse Ventura as an independent? I think I'd go Jesse Ventura as an independent. But I like Gary Johnson, what he says, I just look at the individuals, and I don't really look at, labeling libertarian. At this point, it really has a really wide scope of what it means. But yeah, we definitely need to be communists, socialists, and have all the basic needs funded for everybody, for sure, whether you work or not. It would streamline. It would make the system a lot more simple and straightforward. And everybody uses medical, and everybody deserves to have the same level. We need to keep a level playing field as well as we can, and that's the best way. Is with medical care, and make sure people don't starve and all that with food banks, but if we get rid of all of this oversight that costs all this money with regulation, FCC, and war on drugs and all that stuff, then our overhead as a country would be less. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff about libertarianism, but we do need to have the socialism set up for everybody. Okay, peace out. Stony version.